Stop the cap.
I know y'all want my commentary on this Montgomery, Alabama riverfront brawl. I know y'all want my commentary. Well, guess what? I'm posting this on the other channel, so most of you won't see this video for a whole 7 days because YouTube gave me a strike. I posted a 20-second clip of the Montgomery Brawl on YouTube Shorts. And, I was trying to be funny because it had the Avengers, Marvel Avengers music in the background, right? Avengers Assemble. And I got a strike. And then I appealed it. And then, not even like 10 seconds later, the appeal was rejected, right? This was like, you know, probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I know it was late, but I got a strike. So after my video talking about discussing South Africa and Julius Malema, I can't post a video, at least not on that channel. So I'm going to post this on the other channel. But for those of you who are going to be like, because I already see people comments coming in, oh, speak on this, speak on this, speak on this, speak on. I can't. Not on that channel because I got a strike. YouTube's rules are just inconsistent. You got, videos of people getting their heads blown off and other people are posting the videos, no commotion. I post a video, they want to throw strikes at me. So I'm just letting y'all know what the deal is. I know it's some bullshit, but that's what it is. So my commentary on the Montgomery melee. I've seen other people's videos. I think Tariq Nasheed's video was hilarious. Hilarious. Like I was laughing out loud watching his video. And he gets all into the spirit and the energy and our ancestors and the water is calling us and all this other stuff, right? And I don't get into all that. But I feel you. I feel him. But the way that I look at it, since I'm Mr. Second Amendment and I'm Mr. Self-Defense and I'm Mr. Black people, you need to be armed. Like that's my attitude because, for the last, couple of years, like, we used to couldn't tell the boomers this, the boomers and some of the Gen Xers about how the tides were shifting. And, now you have the rise of white Christian nationalism. Tariq brought up this video that I didn't even hear about. I wasn't even paying attention to this, Not in a Small Town song. I think that's what it's called. Or no, excuse me. Try That in a Small Town. Right. And which we already know what that's about. Right. All these predominantly white towns where everybody knows each other and whatnot in middle, flyover country, America. Right. All the places that are typically, red with Donald Trump supporters. They see, in the video. The guy he does the videos in front of a Capitol building that there was I think it's like Lynching Hall or something. I don't know if that's the name of the building, but I've seen a number of people point out the fact that that building that, he's in front of is where they did lynchings against black people. I think it's a courthouse. I'm sorry, not a Capitol, but a courthouse. And the song has all these clips of just pretty much all of the strong arm robberies, carjackings, criminal activity, Antifa, and the George Floyd riot / protest and all that, right? Funny thing, I didn't see any clips in there of the January 6th, rioters that stormed the Capitol. That's funny. But like we know the mindset. Okay, we know this white Christian nationalist, sort of mindset. And I've seen a couple people say what I was already thinking. I'm like, I've been said this. And I've really said this about the young people. I've really said this about, the Zillennials. That boy that jumped in that water was 16 years old. And the first thing he did when he got off or got up on the dock was body slam, one of the white folks that, got in there on the group fight. And I'm going to talk about the fight in a minute, but I want to touch up on this whole, like, this historical context, or, what we see with all this white nationalism and stuff. These what I found funny is, I looked all over YouTube for Fox News to comment on it. I found one clip, and it's got this female news anchor up there, and she talks about it like, it's just it's like a high school brawl or something. Like it's like it was a silly nothing bar fight. That's what I found interesting is, and this is why a lot of the white folks, they really can't get behind this, because the white folks were completely in the wrong. They parked their pontoon, where the whatever this, carnival type steamboat was supposed to park, which obviously, that's the dock, that's their dock. They're probably paying for it for them to be able to, offload and onload people. And this entitled white family, just felt like, we not moving our shit, right? Just breaking the rules, right? Even though white people run around, follow the law, if they would only comply, right? They run around, talking that type of stuff. And I'll say this, a lot of white people are not getting behind them, just, because of that, which is why, Fox News wants to, soft shoe this, this whole conversation. They don't want to get into it. I'm like, what happened to Back the Blue and Law and Order and all that shit that they usually talk? All those anti-black dog whistles. What happened to all of that? Right? But because this white family was clearly in the wrong, they can't go as hard in the paint as they want to and try to, put it out there like it was just a mob of savage black people that attacked this innocent group of white people. Right? And I'm gonna tell you where the white people fucked up. Aside from them, with their entitlement and just parking the pontoon wherever they felt like they were going to park it with their drunk asses, where they really fucked up is not letting the guy shoot the fair one, with the security guard. I mean, that's already in the wrong. You know what I mean? But, respect the 1v1. But the fact that they thought that they were going to go down there and they were going to whoop up on this black guy in front of the entire ship and the entire dock, and black people weren't going to respond, I was like, it wasn't going to go down like that. So that just enraged black people. That just left them incensed. And see, well, white people kind of, what they ignore is, like, you dealing with a new type of nigga. Like, I don't know what they don't get about this shit. Right? Again, a lot of black people that were running around, on the coon shit, I think you talk about racism too much. It's not about race, blah, 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 blah. See, Buffalo changed all of that. Okay, a lot of black people are on their P's and Q's now, when it comes to that shit. Aside from other shit, just all of the rhetoric, all of the gaslighting that black people got to deal with, all the funky ass YouTube comments in the comment section, what do they say? What's that bullshit that they say? Usual suspects, all the trolling that they do in the comment section. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but those white people that got off that pontoon, they look all the part. Even that family photo that they have, they look just like the type of people that you expect to be in the comment sections, Fox News comment sections, talking crazy. You know what I mean? The catnip, that is, showing, black criminality, like this situation out there. And I think it was Oakland where the Sikh guy was beating the ass of a black man that went in there and tried to steal a whole bunch of cigarettes. Right? He was like a homeless guy. He went in there and just thought he was just going to take. And, the Sikhs are the wrong ones. You know what I'm saying? The Sikhs are the wrong ones. Again, everything they got, and I talked about this in another video, I mean, damn near everything they got on their body is a weapon. The cicada is a weapon. What they use to hold their turban together is a weapon. You know what I mean? The damn the kata that they wear what's not a cicada? I think that's the cicada is what the ring that they wear on the wrist. The kirpan is the curved dagger that they have on their person, and they've been a couple cases where, because their religion, like, they're supposed to have a weapon on them at all times. And obviously, that's a problem with, school policies and stuff. But I think one of the Sikhs won, school policy when it came to him having the kirpan, and they just came to an agreement like you can't pull that thing out at any time. But I'm just saying it's a part of their religion. They don't get down. They get down like that. But anyway, the white folks, they saw that all they over in the comment section. Last time I checked, it had like 300,000 views. I mean, they love seeing black people get admonished, right? And they love all this rhetoric that it's black people are the problem, and we don't want CRT, right? We're just going to completely ignore the history of America and the socioeconomic position that white folks have put black people in. The stupid thing, I'm gonna tell you what makes white people stupid when it comes to this shit is essentially, with all of the systemic racism, the redlining, the blockbusting, the Jim Crow, the eminent domain, the urban renewal, right? The convict leasing, right? The you black people move over there. Oh, we suddenly decide that, we want that prime real estate. Oh, we're going to go in there and we're going to gentrify. We're just going to push you out and do what we want and all this other stuff, that's been going on. Like, at this point, when you look at the unemployment and the underemployment rates, especially for black teens, and then, even when it comes to some of the black olders, a lot of them, are they're looking at it like, they're on their way out the door. Many of them only got about, 10 years or less left in their life. And like that 165-year-old man that took the chair, and I mean, he was like, and the women are getting it too. And they had to arrest his ass because he was just doing the most. But, that man had been waiting his entire life, to get a couple licks off, and white people really do not understand just how sick and tired black people are of white folks and white supremacy and their bullshit. They're sick and tired of that shit. I mean, just everything, all of it, all the freaking, the Trumpism and what all that brings to the table, all the dog whistles, that have been going on over the last couple of years, the comment sections on YouTube, like it's everything that comes into it. It wasn't just, this moment in time. Then you got the whole historical context of, Alabama and the history of Alabama and the racial strife and Birmingham and the marching, what else? The history of slavery and Jim Crow and all that other shit. Like, I'll tell you, as somebody from the North, Alabama and Mississippi are two states that black people in the Northeast, or even in the Rust Belt, Ohio, Detroit, Chicago, those cities and states, right? They know they like we ain't fucking with those states. You know what I mean? Like no, like you say Alabama, all I picture are the white folks in the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou with George Clooney and the type of like Klan white supremacist type of folks. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna go on a little history lesson on CRT right quick, because there's a couple things that, like, being serious about the subject. I see a lot of black people who they're hollering, this is a victory. Oh, it's nice we came together and everything else like that, as we should. But I already know that, the gender war is still going to be floating in the background tomorrow. We still had those problems. But yeah, it was nice to see. It was nice to see. I mean, even the women, they was, one of them, as Tariq called them, one of them Karens, she tried to, get in there and on the men and bust it up or do whatever she was trying to do. And the sisters, they weren't having it. She got stomped out right then and there. So the women were giving it to the women and the men were giving it to the men. But What was I going to say about hold on, give me a second. Oh, yeah, and this is where we get into the seriousness. Because all this, black people looking at this like this is some sort of victory in some ways. I can see why, black people feel positively about the event. But it's 2023. There were tons of cameras on this event. If those cameras weren't there, what would have happened? What would have happened was the same thing that happened, in the past, where white folks, again, totally in the wrong. They would have made up some bullshit story. Oh, the niggas are savage niggas. They attacked us, right? Play the victim, and the news would come out and say some shit like that, right? And then the white people, they would go and get their little posses and get their double barrel shotguns, and then they would just run around shooting and killing black people indiscriminately. That is the majority of the history of America. That is the majority of the history of America. That's what you got to recognize. Y'all think I'm playing games and it's all fun and games when I talk about the Second Amendment and when I talk about and I show pictures of, guns on my page and whatnot, right? Y'all think, oh, because the gun's colorful or the gun, is, somebody's putting their own, their own style, their own aesthetic taste. At the end of the day, it's still a weapon. It'll still push your wig back, but, a lot of people don't understand the seriousness of that. Like when you really look at the history, this reminds me of the, again, Red Summer of 1919 in Chicago, when you had a black boy who was on a raft and there was a white end of the beach and there was a black end of the beach. And he had, by, the accounts, that I've read and heard about and watched videos on YouTube about, he either fell asleep on the raft or somehow drifted over on the white side of the beach. And the white people began to throw rocks at his raft, and he got hit in the head, fell off the raft, and the boy drowned. And the black people, when they saw that, they ran over to the nearest authority that they could find, which was a white police officer, because they didn't have black police officers back then in 1919. And they said, you need to arrest those people because they killed that boy and caused him to drown. Well, the white police officer apparently was like, well, I'm not doing anything. I didn't see anything, right? He was being a loyal race soldier. So the black people was like, oh, you ain't going to, do anything. So the black people were incensed. So they stomped that white police officer out right where he stood. Then the crowd of white people, they look up and all they see is black people stomping out a white police officer. So then they go crazy and say, oh, the niggas is attacking. Oh, the niggas is attacking. Right. So then they go and then they just proceed to, go and purge black people and purge black communities. And that's what they do. This is damn near every race riot in America. If this video, what you saw in Alabama, if this was the 1920s or the 19 teens, okay, those white folks would have went into the black section of town and they would have burned it down to the ground. That's what you got to understand. Like when I run around and I say shit like a lot of these white people are pathological. They're dangerous to black people. And a lot of black people don't understand that. They think this shit is all fun and games and, oh, we went in there with fist and everything else like that. White folks weren't using fist when they come back, for round 2. They ain't using fist. Y'all need to understand that. But again, many of you all don't. And I'm just talking about those of you all who don't. The ones that do, they get it because remember, ever since 2020, a lot of black people went out there and, we done bought guns up like crazy. Okay, so many of us are ready for some shit to pop off. But I'm just saying there's a historical seriousness to this whole riverboat brawl situation, that black people really need to understand about how this would have went down in the past, because it wouldn't have been a victory. Oh, it might have been a victory right there on the docks, but then white people, they would have mobilized, they would have got their posse, they would have got the sheriff, you know what I mean? And they would have ran into the black community, you know what I mean? And somebody, think about it, somebody's not even there. They just see a crowd of white people walking up, and the motherfucker just turns, aims a shotgun at the lady standing on the porch, and unloads two double-aught buck in her chest. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. All because of some shit that happened at the docks. She wasn't even there, don't even know what the fuck was going on. All she sees is a crowd of people. And again, you know, it's like, they had telephones back then. I don't know how many black people had telephones, you know, back then, but I'm sure word would have got around and they would have been, you know, Morse coded and all that shit, you know, everywhere. All the niggas and stuff, they attacking this, that, and the third. Black people, you know what I mean, would have, you know, tried to, you know, get the message to, you know, to people. But think about how slow that message would have went. You know what I mean? Like for some people, it just would have been too late. They wouldn't even know, you know, like these white people just pulling up. They don't even know why. That's the crazy shit. But, you know, the other thing, and like I said, you know, with all this shit that black people go through, right? You know, all the microaggressions, and then on top of that, the fucking economy and everything, and you know, just the way in which you know, like white people have really set this system up to where, you know, it's like white people now are bitching, oh, you know, the economy sucks. You see a lot of zillennials online making videos, a lot of millennials online, white millennials, you know, talking about, you know, the average price of a home is $430,000. And, you know, companies are talking about, you know, no union, no full medical and dental and $20 an hour and all that stuff. I'm saying black people been going through that. And see, the stupid thing about white folks when it comes to this is they've essentially set up, you know, this system of white supremacy where now it's so bad for black folks that black folks don't have anything to lose. You see, there's nothing holding them back. Again, it's the same thing I say about the whole relationship between parents and children and young people, elders. That whole respect your elders and that whole, you know, you know, respect the infrastructure and the institute. That shit is dead, especially when it comes to these young black folks. You know, young black men. Please. That shit is dead. But see, these white folks, they out there. See, I'm gonna tell you the mistake that white folks make. White folks actually think that they're angrier at black people than black people are at white people. They sit there and got all this fake anger and fake outrage, you know, sitting around watching social media and watching, you know, Fox News and shit. Right. But that's where you get all this crap with the, you know, what's that song? Try That in a Small Town. That's where they get all hyped on that shit. Not understanding that not only understanding the anger that black people have against white people in this country. And most of the time, again, black people ain't even looking for revenge like that. You know what I mean? Black people just like, you know, give me my motherfucking money. Let me go out here. Give me my reparations and fucking live my life and take care of my family and live in decent neighborhoods and not have to live and be in squalor. That's most black people. But see, white people is stupid because they go out here and they just like to poke the fucking bear. They just, just gonna poke the bear. I'm gonna keep fucking with you. Right? And they run around with these stupid ass ideas. You know what I mean? But like I said, most of the people, you know, when you saw that video, did you see a whole bunch of in shape white folks? Now, I'm not going to say all the black folks were in shape, but I'm saying they seem to be more in shape, you know, than the white folks in the videos, because the white folks was huffing and puffing and all the other type of shit. And black people, they were like so many people have already said, when you see black folks, you know, if they, number one, if they take their shirt off, it's on. Number two, if when they come rolling up to you, ready for a fight, and they're skipping, like skip to my loo, oh, nigga, you done already lost. It's already fucked up then. It's already fucked up. You know, I mean, seriously, you done fucked up. If they come skipping, oh, shit. You know, but, you know, seriously speaking, these white folks, like, they don't really understand, like, how hard the system that they've created, how hard they've made it for black people. See, black people are working and they're gainfully employed and they got jobs and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that's when the coons come out. That's don't harm him. These good white folks, they start tap dancing and soft shoeing and stuff like that because they got shit to lose. They got a nice house that they don't want to lose. They got a family they're taking care of that they don't want to lose. But when you reduce young black men down to nothing, to where they can't be that, and they don't have those things, they don't think a thing about whooping your motherfucking ass. They don't. That the idea of the consequences of that don't even enter their mind at that point because they got nothing to lose. They're damn near suicidal at that point. And I keep seeing white folks out here. They keep fucking with fire. I'm like you're fucking. Black people are rocks away from being like the Muslims. You know what I mean? They run around, put the TNT on their chest, and run into a building screaming Allahu Akbar and blowing themselves up. Black men are a rock's throw away from that shit. And these folks, I'm like, and you still out here fucking poking the bear. I'm like, all right, you gonna fuck around and find out. You gonna fuck around and find out. I just keep seeing the same thing over and over again. I'm like Paul Mooney said, you tell our grandkids to get to the back of the bus. There won't be a bus. There won't be a bus. And even Tariq, he had a clip of a white man at the end of the video, and even that white man was like, they sick of your bullshit. They're sick of your bullshit. These ain't the ones. Like, these ain't the black people that you told them where to go and what to eat, and you can't drink from this water fountain and all this other. There won't be a water fountain. You know what I mean? Again, they're on some, if I can't have, a decent quality of life, if I can't live, if I can't, then fuck what you got going on. They'll burn this whole motherfucker down to the ground and give two fucks about it. You don't ever let shit fall apart this much. But again, white folks, they don't get that shit. They thrive in the existence of, the belief of their own racial superiority and whatnot. And then not only that, they have the audacity to do things like flaunt the shit in black people's faces that don't have, some shit. So black people already walking around, especially in states like Alabama that have a long history of racial, injustice. Black people are they're like Ice Cube told Bill Maher, on the Bill Maher show, I knew you was going to fuck up, right? But I'm going to add to it. I was waiting for you to fuck up. I was waiting for you to fuck up. Because see, most of the time when black people, hook off on white people, they want to be fully in the right. So the more outrageous the white people are, the more in the wrong they are, the more energized and empowered black people feel in whooping your ass. Because if, again, just like this whole boat, situation, ain't gonna be no sympathy for these white folks. You know what I mean? So, and again, if you look around the whole internet, the usual racists that are in the comment sections, they're awfully quiet in these YouTube streets as of late. They're awfully, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, where they at? Where the comments at? Where's the back to blue? Where's the, respect the law and order, all that shit that they like to throw at black people. Right? But see, these white folks, they was fucking up. They was on some drunk, hillbilly redneck shit. And so, they can't be backed because then that would contradict, all of the Republican talking points, all the Fox News talking points, right? They got to try to at least keep it a little bit philosophically consistent, right? So, they just going to downplay, the whole thing. I mean, seriously speaking, they really, it's funny to me because it's like, I'm like, a lot of them, I don't know what type, I was going to say they've been drinking that Kool-Aid. No, they've been drinking that Snapple. And, they've been drinking that Snapple, and they have it in their minds it's gonna go down a particular way. I'm like, it's not gonna go down like you think it's gonna go down. It's not. And then not only that, somebody made a good point that black people outnumber the racist who were the type that would actually be willing to go out there and do something like that. Like, you got a lot of racists that ain't got no fight in them. And then you got all the other people that are not racist. At the very least, if they're not going to get on black people's side, that they're most certainly not going to support or help the racist. And I had to think about that. I was like, you got a point. Because again, right now the majority of the internet, including the white folks, see, they're just trying to sweep this underneath the rug. But what I'm noticing is they're not supporting it. They're like, oh no, wait, the black man was working, and he was working for the as a dock worker, for whoever controls this this ship, which most likely is a white company, right? So you fucking with other white people's money, and they hired a black man, right? Who, again, let's talk Fox News talking points. He's not out there being lazy on welfare or selling drugs and smoking crack. He's fucking working. And then you go over there and you're fucking with him. See, that doesn't even line up with the typical Fox News talking points in their comment sections. Get a job, nigger. Get a job, nigger. Right? That doesn't even line up with that shit. So they got nowhere to go on this. The pontoon not supposed to be there. Then the freaking white dude swings on the freaking black, security guard or dock worker, whichever one he is. Right? Then the white people, they don't respect the 1v1. Then it's 8-1. They think that they gonna overpower the black dude. Then they thought that they were just gonna do some shit like that and then get away with it. Like, nah, you gonna catch all of this smoke. You gonna catch 350 years of fucking slavery plus another 100 years of Jim Crow. You gonna catch all of that built up anger. You gonna get all of it. And see, they thought that it was over. I mean, they really did think it was over. They were just sitting there casually on the boat. I'm like, oh no, no. Nope. And I thought the show thing, in a lot of the commentary, I mean the black Twitter or the black internet is fucking hilarious on just on all the videos that I've seen, all the jokes that people got, I mean, hilarious, just the commentary that people are coming out with. But try to make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. Trying to think. Nah, like it just black people are sick and tired of white folks like that. I mean, just sick and tired. Again, like I said, all the trolling, all the dog whistles, all the throwing black people underneath the bus, the shit with the affirmative action, the conversations about the gaslighting on reparations for slavery. Black people are so sick and tired of white folks when it comes to this shit. And seriously speaking, when it comes to all these other, model minorities and all these other, get in black people's way and you gonna catch that smoke too. You gonna catch all of that smoke, for all of you, first generation immigrants and other groups that come here and then want to talk your shit, to black people who've been enduring, hundreds of years of white people's abuse, and talking about how, it's all about, hard work and personal responsibility. You gonna catch all that fucking smoke. And even right now with the Asians people, they on their own. After that affirmative action shit, what I mean? It ain't gonna be no, people of color, and no, ain't no color, nothing. You gonna see black people not in that rainbow. And like I said, they done opened up the a whole can of worms even for them for themselves, because now they over there bitching about how come we don't see more Asians in leadership position if it's supposed to be about a meritocracy and good grades. I'm like, oh, did you really think that white people were just going to hand over these positions of leadership? No, you can be a middle manager, you can be that, but to run shit? Oh no. Oh, you thought you was one of them. Oh. You see, they done fucked up. They done fucked up. You see. So I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say about the whole situation. Like I say, y'all need to go out there and protect yourselves. I'll use Professor Black Truth's line. Have your power tools on you at all times, right? Um, but people. I saw some people additionally. They were like, oh, white people, they're gonna retaliate and they're gonna this and they're gonna that, and no, they're not. Not in my opinion. Not based off of this. You know. And I left it. I'll leave that to another video. But it's nice to see. Ain't no more of that. Turn the other cheek. Every time white officer kills black woman's son. There's always some black woman up there on the news, or Christian family, because sometimes the dad will get involved. If he's there, and always talking that turn the other cheek, white Jesus bullshit, and we forgive and we forget. Man, fuck that. Black people been on that bitch ass shit forever. And where has that shit gotten us? Where has that shit gotten us? All that trying to demonstrate to white people how good of a Christian you are. Fuck out of here. We are done with that shit. Especially the younger black people. I don't even have to. I don't have to have an argument or a debate with the older black people about that. We are done with that shit. So, it is what it is at this point. White people, as a rule, we ain't fucking thinking about them. We ain't, dealing with them in that capacity beyond, going to work, making our money, coming home, taking care of our families. That's it. Okay, because we're not sitting around dealing with the microaggressions and dealing with the two-facedness and all that other bullshit. We want to make our money and go the fuck home and hang around and be with our own people. Yes, we have problems that we're currently working through and need to be addressed and all that shit, but that's what has to be done because of all the systemic damage that the system of white supremacy has done, over the years. With their policies and their laws and their what do you want to call it, economic injustice and all that shit. So we got a lot of shit to work through, and that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? But all that, but you come around us with that fuck shit. Oh, you can catch all the smoke. You can catch all of these hands. Like, we ain't playing that shit. Not anymore. And again, as the economy, gets worse and worse, black people are going to continue to have less to lose and more zero fucks to give. And what you're going to see is what niggas feel that they should have done a long time ago. Anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. SWP out. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe.